I'm School Bus Driver Live, looking for Rock Man, #1 fan. About to do some general knowledge, answer some questions, Q&A. Rock Man, what's up, bro? I'm running a little late, but I'm here, man. I'm here. I got a couple answers for you, a couple of your questions. So let's get to it. The general knowledge that you got to take, about 50 questions. Can't get more than 10 wrong. I think as soon as you get 11 wrong, the computer shuts off. My first question is, when I pass the general knowledge test, will I receive a temporary learner's permit? You will receive a paper permit stating that you pass your general knowledge. It's going to be a piece of paper that you pass the general knowledge. Now you can take an endorsement test. So after you pass your general knowledge, you'll be ready for your endorsement. Just a piece of paper. It doesn't get sealed and stamped until you complete your application for your commercial learner's permit. Once you do your commercial learner's permit, your paper permit will have your general knowledge and your passenger and school bus endorsement that you pass both of those. And that will make you eligible, qualify for the commercial learner's permit, which is a hard copy of your permit to actually practice driving the school bus. I'm glad I can help you with that. Back to the general knowledge itself. I remember you asked me, does it have a time limit? No, it does not have a time limit. Like I said, you can't get more than 10 wrong. As soon as you get 11 wrong, the computer shuts off. The secret to the general knowledge is skip it. If you don't know it, skip it. Yep, you can skip it. It'll come back around. Maybe it will, maybe it won't, might resurface, might not. But you just skip the ones you don't, and that'll buy you some time to put in the right answers to the ones you do know to get you further to that 40 right. You need 40 right. Yeah, to pass. So that should help you with the general knowledge. You can just skip it. If you don't know it, skip it. Yeah, keep that in mind. So after you do your general knowledge, you're going to do the passenger and school bus endorsement. 20 questions. You got to get 16 right. You get more than 16 wrong. Basically, you get 5 wrong, you fail. Computer shuts off. Same thing with that. It's the you can skip it. If you don't know it, skip it. Comes back around to you, that's fine. But most of the time, it won't resurface. It might, but most of the time, it doesn't because it's like a 5,000 question database that they go through, and that's why you just skip it. Most people have trouble the first time they take the test because they got a lot of pressure and stuff. So don't even worry about it. I passed my second time. I didn't pass the first time. What else you got for me, Rock Man? My #1 fan. So after we do the passenger and school bus, you're gonna have to do your physical, so you can get your med card. Your med card is good for 2 years if you're not on blood pressure or any kind of medications that will affect your driving. If you are on any kind of medication, you might have a year. Depending on your age, it might be 6 years. But you have to pass a physical in order to get the commercial learner's permit. So you need the physical, and then you're gonna need the fingerprints. After you do the physical and fingerprints, now you're ready to get your commercial learner's permit because you passed the general knowledge, your passenger and school bus, you did your physical, you got your med card, and you got your fingerprint, they did the background check. Now, after all that, you can take your CLP to a training center that's registered with the FMCSA, and they can help you train. You'll be ready to train with that commercial learner's permit. You can actually drive on the road. Now, what the training has a couple different steps to it. First is the theory. When we go over theory, how you doing, Brad? Glad for you to join us in. I'm going over the things my number one fan, Rockman, needs here to pass and get his Class B passenger and school bus endorsement. Right now, we're talking about what's going on with the training. Thank you. We're going on with the training. So once he starts, after he passed all his tests and everything, I just explained to him, we're gonna have to do the theory. Now, the theory is basically going over everything about the training itself and the details of the bus and the different laws and regulations. You might want to familiarize yourself with the 49 CFR. That's the code of federal regulations for this that we go by for the transportation for the FMCSA. I think it's. I'm not even going to tell you what appendix is. I don't want to get it. So yeah, we go through theory. It's like a classroom detail. We go over everything. Nothing really to be worried about. Your trainer will train you on everything. He's going to give you a theory test. He or she will give you a theory test, and he just jot that down with the notes. So when he submit all your information later, he could submit that you passed his theory test. After theory, you will be given behind the wheel training, public and range. Public meaning outside of the parking lot on the actual road. Range is in the parking lot. So we're going to get behind the wheel training, public and range. And you have to have behind the wheel training, public and range with your passenger endorsement and also your school bus endorsement. With the passenger endorsement, is more or less so the passengers and the railroad pickup. You know, the school bus will be the pickups and the drop offs with the students correctly, uh, helping the kids cross the streets properly and exit the bus properly in a safe manner. So that's the passenger and school bus. But the main thing will be to be behind the wheel uh, on the range. That's when you get into the skills. It's 4 skills. I made a playlist for you, my man. I know you checked that out. I see you've been checking that out. Understand you perfectly. 2 years for physical exam. Yes, the playlist was. I remember you asking me about the skills test, so I decided to just put that playlist together. It wasn't no point in me doing all the tests all over again. I will in the future when I get time. I want to do autumn with the 2025 international that we have our hands on now. But that will be later on in the future. But for now, you can look at them videos, and that's the 4 skills test. They made it so much easier now. I was looking over here trying to name the actual skills test itself, and I believe they are forward stop, the straight line backing, the 100, yeah, the straight line backing, 100-foot backing, that's the same thing. The forward offset tracking and the reverse offset tracking. Yep. Those are the 4 skills, which is not hard at all. You'll also practice the pickup, drop off, and railroad uh, in the range. And of course, you won't be doing the, that stuff in the public, but you can practice at your trainer might take you to a couple of railroads and get you the feel of that. Once you get the feel of that, you will be practicing that in the public because you have to do that on your I want to know how to memorize the pre-trip inspection wording with the, what to give us the sign area, memorize the name of parts of the bus or finalize. Well, yeah, the pre-trip inspection, word for word, honestly, it's not that hard once you go over it because now they have a checklist. This is a checklist. It's they give it to you at the DMV. This is the book that I sell on Amazon. I have the checklist that they actually give you. These are the things that you will be checking on your pre-trip inspection. So what I did was I went over this checklist and then I put everything in order, making it operational for you as a driver to start from the driver's seat and work your way inside the bus. Then you do your whole interior, and then we're going to have you go outside and do the exterior. I actually put it in the order where you can memorize it, and I don't think you will have a problem with it. So, because what we do is we break it down section. Each one is a section. This is the hydraulic brake test. So we break down everything we need to do the hydraulic brake test. It's real easy. You say it and you perform it. So I'm gonna help you right now. Let's say me and you was gonna practice the hydraulic brake test and you want to remember it word for word. I will now perform my hydraulic brake test, pumping my pedal 3 times, and I'm going to pump the pedal while I'm pumping it. I'm going to count, holding my pedal, and then once I do that, I'm going to hold it for 5 seconds. So let's do that. So pumping my pedal 3 times, 1, 2, 3. Of course, that's with my foot. I'm not on the bus right now, and I'm going to count the three. 1, 2, 3. That's 3 pumps. Count to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. My pedal didn't move. My hydraulic brake pressure is good. So that's just that simple. That's just the hydraulic one. Parking brake is a little different. I will now perform my parking brake test, making sure my parking brake is on. I put my bus in drive. I rev it up to 1,000 RPMs. My bus didn't move. My parking brakes works properly. So I'm not trying to sell my book, but if you want to go word for word for the pre-trip to go over the checklist that they actually give you, this is word for word. This will get you interior of the bus, exterior of the bus, and you'll be covered. Now, the other question that you had asked was, do us trainees, do instructors, we test you? Yes, we give you a theory test. We will give you a behind the wheel assessment. We will give you an over the road assessment. That's the OTR, over the road assessment. And you pass us with some good grades, we submit that to the state, to the motor vehicle, and the motor. Then you can go to the motor vehicle and make your date for your road test, and then you go there, and they're going to give you a road test. Let's talk about what they do over there. So when you go over to their road test, you're going to do the pre-trip inspection, interior of the bus, exterior of the bus. You're going to go through the checklist. They're going to give you a pencil and the checklist, so you just go down the checklist and check it off. It can't be no easier than that. Okay. So now, after you do the pre-trip inspection, you will have to do the skills test that we just talked about, the 4 skills: the forward stop, uh, forward back, offset back. You got to do, the 4 skills. And after the 4 skills, you'll do your passenger school bus will be a pick up and drop off in the railroad. They don't do it in, I don't know what order. Sometimes they do one there and they do one on the road. Sometimes they just do one on the road. It's always might be different. Okay, I did tell you about that. So then they take you over the road, and that's pretty much it for the road test. So you got pre-trip, which is easy because they give you the checklist and you can study with the books. And you got the uh, the skills test, the passenger school bus endorsements, and you go over the road. But the thing about the road test, you can bank if you pass a section of the road test. Let's say you passed the pre-trip inspection, and then you went along and you failed the skills. You failed on one of the skills. So when you come back, you can bank the pre-trip inspection. You won't have to do that again. You just pick up where you left off. That's what they call. That's the banking system. You can pass two, you can pass three, and fail on the road and come back and just take that. So you might want to keep that in mind. Some people like to just go and pass the pre-trip inspection just to take the edge off, and they might hit a cone or something during the skill. But it might be a strategy to think of. There's no harm, no foul if you have to go back and do it again. So the front of the bus pre-trip inspection. A lot of the pre-trip, you can break it down like the lights are clean, no breaks, functional, and proper color. So every time you check a light, it's clean, no breaks, functional, and proper color, and not missing. So that helps it out every single time you check a light. You're repeating yourself. A lot of things are repeated, has no cracks, no breaks, no missing parts. A lot of that stuff will just stick to you and you'll be able to remember it. Yes, keep that in mind, my friend. Rockman, my number one fan. I am glad to be here for you to help you out with this here today. Well, Rockman, if you're listening, I know you're listening, you're watching. I got a couple facts that it might help you with the pardon me, excuse me, help you with the general knowledge. Here's one fact I have for you. Which kind of fire can you use to put out? Can you use water to put out? Tire fires. Here's another one. What statement about driving in areas with strong wind is true? Wind is especially strong when coming out of a tunnel. When turning, you should signal early. Retarders can cause the driver to skid when they have poor traction. Yes, they can. Yes, this is for all the states. They just made this test. Uh, was it national? Yeah, all the states have the same curriculum for the FMCSA. It's a federal. It's going through federal, so yes, it will work in Ohio. Which of these is not part of the pre-trip inspection of the engine compartment? Valve clearance. You don't check that. That's a good thing. Under the hood, I just recently put that out because I had the exhibit. Exhibit one for my virtual training was the interior. I made a bunch of little videos for that and one long video to help you memorize the interior. So basically, if you watch that interior video, I think it's about 5 minutes. That will cover you for the interior of the bus. I'm guaranteed. If you say that word for word and demonstrate and do what you need to do during that pre-trip inspection, and you follow that interior video, that's a pass, buddy. Pass. Perfect. Yes, it is. Not a problem. Yeah, so I wanted to talk about the front of the bus because that's what my second exhibit for the training is going to be the front of the, not the front of the bus, the exterior. So we're going to cover the front So when you cover the front, you got to pop the hood. I believe I put that video out already, but I didn't put the full exterior video out because I'm still working on the side and the rear. But the front of the bus is out and under the hood is out. And if you look at under the hood, they changed it. It's so easy now. You only got to check the oil level. Yeah, thank you. That's a good video. That's gonna help you pass the pre-trip. But I was talking about under the hood. Once you do the front, you gotta unlatch the and pop the hood. They just get check the oil with check the coolant, check the power steering fluid and the brake fluid, and make sure no. So you just checking fluids, oil, coolant, power steering, brake. Easy. Same way you would check on your car. Always be careful because the oil on the buses get hot, faster, hotter than your car too. So wear gloves, use napkins and towels. And then you check the steering system, which is the steering box, the pivot arm, the drag link, the tie rods, the joints and sockets, which is easy. If you watch the under the hood video, it's not that hard. And then we do the tire. On the tire, we check the front of the tire, guys. What is it? 4/32. Front starts with F. Four starts with F. That's how I remember. The front tire has at least 4/32 inch of tread. So after we check the tires, we check the suspension, and then we check the brakes, and that's it. Under under the hood, it's not that hard. It's fluids, steering, tire, suspension, brakes. I break it down real easy on the videos and very simple in the book. So that'll get you through under the hood. Front of the bus is on there. Side of the bus is really even easier. And the rear of the bus is you say the same thing like 13 times. If you watch one of my rear of the bus videos, you'll see that. You got any more questions for me, Rockman, my number one fan? I'm gonna come up with some more of these statements and facts for you. I give you a chance to come up with some questions. Give me a question. I'm gonna state some facts for you while you typing up your question. What is counter steering? Turning the wheel back in the other direction after steering to avoid a traffic emergency. What is intrastate trucking? Intrastate versus interstate. I made a video with that. Intrastate is trucking when a commercial motor vehicle only travels in one state. Interstate is when a commercial motor vehicle travels in more than one state. More than one state. If you must drive on a slippery road, you should slow down gradually. Remember, accelerations can cause mechanical issues. The distance that you should look ahead of your vehicle while driving amounts to about 1/4 mile or 12 to 15 seconds. I see Rockman got something for me. Rockman. Let's see what you got. Since you are an instructor, what is your thoughts about truck companies offering free CDLs and people have to go over the road, but the downside is they have to sign a contract for 1 year. If they leave, they have to pay it back. Oh yeah. Uh, my thoughts on that is if excuse me the training for that is very expensive for one. So what they want to, I understand why they do it because they want to make sure that they capitalize on their investment. They don't want to train you, spend all that money, time, labor, get you take your test, and then you skate on them. I think it's good. You just got to be ready because, or unless you want to pay out of pocket. If you're going to get free training and they say you got to stay a year, I think that's reasonable. Let me tell you why. Because they want to capitalize on their investment, and also you're not going to get a trucking job driving without experience. So you need to stay there for that experience. Also, us school bus drivers, I train people. I do have them stay for a school year or two. They must stay for a school year or two. Why? Because I provide free training. I even pay I pay up to a certain amount of hours. I pay you for training. Then the rest is free. So you will get paid to train with me, and then it's free. It doesn't cost you anything. But you got to stay for a year or two. It depends on uh, what we do what we have that season coming up. But yeah, I think it's good. It's good because we need you. They need you. You need the experience. Nobody's going to hire you just because you have your license. You have to have the experience. So you need to stay. Whoever trains you, you need to stay there at least a year anyway. So it doesn't really hurt. It doesn't really hurt you. I also practice on the CDL called CDL Prep app. That helped me too. Yeah, it's a lot of different apps. It's a lot of different apps that help. The actual uh, DMV book that they have, you can download it on the DMV site, or you can pick it up at any DMV. Go in and ask for the CDL manual. You get it for free. That helps a lot of information. I got a lot of information out of that. Well, of course, I'm a trainer. I got a lot of information out of that I use for everyday practice and training and just everyday work. Yeah. Joe, so you're going to be staying, whoever you train for, you're not just going to get your license and leave. They're going to have you sign something. You will be staying for a year, at least at the minimum of a year. Like I said, you need to stay. You need the experience. It's good. You need the experience. The heavier a vehicle, I'm back to my facts. The heavier a vehicle and the faster it is moving, the more the brakes have to absorb to stop. Absolutely. The heavier and the faster, the more the brakes got to work. That's why the trucks got the engine brake. It's called a retarder. I keep talking about retarders. You know what a retarder is? It's an engine brake. You don't you slow down your engine without applying your foot to the brake pedal. Uh, Fact number 37. I'm just skipping through the facts here. You are checking your tires for pre-trip inspection. Tires are mismatched. Should you use it? No, you should not use mismatched tires together on the same vehicle. They cannot be mismatched. You got another question for me, Rock Man? Do we still practice during snow days and rainy days? The road practice ways for you to see the yes. We do practice different times of weather because part of the curriculum that we have to you have have a course in some kind of weather, whether it's rain, high winds. You have to have a practice course at night. You have to have a practice course. Yeah, basically at night, at dawn and dusk, different times of the day. I like to take people out. It's not. Uh, I don't have to take them out during sunset, but I like to because of the sun glare or sunrise. That's why I said dawn and dusk. But you on paper, you have to have practice during some kind of weather experience and nighttime. That is a necessity. That is part of your uh, that could be part of your behind the wheel public or range. It depends on your instructor. I usually do the weather on the range if it's bad weather, of course. But if it's just a little bit of rain, I can count that as weather too, and I could take you on the public road for that. But the snow, of course, I'm not going to take you on the snow. We're going to do that in the parking lot on the rain. So the CDM maneuvers are not that hard, though, especially the ones that you're going to be taking on your test. So I wouldn't even worry about it. The hardest part for you, my man, Rockman, will be the general knowledge test. Once you pass the general knowledge test, you got your foot in the door to pass the passenger and school bus, and then it's smooth sailing from there because you're so enthusiastic about this and you're so ready for this. You're not going to have any problems. Like I said, you watch my videos, the interior, exterior, the pre-trip, that's going to be a breeze for you. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the skills is not that hard now. That's going to be a breeze. The passenger and school bus endorsements, that's going to be a breeze because you're going to be practicing that a lot with the pre-trip inspection. And driving over the road, all this is going to be a breeze for you. You mentioned about you guys pay the trainees and the training process part time, and do they train during the snowstorm and rainstorm? Yeah, some places pay. I pay up to 25 hours. Your first 25 hours, I will pay you $25 an hour to train with me. After the 25 hours, I'm not paying, but you still got free training. So it's a win-win. Yes, we do train in the rainstorm. You have to train in the weather. It's going to be raining, and we will train you in the snow. If you are training during the summer and it's no weather, no bad weather, no snowstorm, I should say, you can get hands-on training with your trainer. That's why it's good to stay that year. You can talk to them. I never had, you know, that much experience in the snow. Can you take me out for a snowfall? No trainer is going to tell you no. So you might want to think about that question if no snowfall comes up during your actual training. You can get some additional training from your training from your trainer. All right, Rock Man. I got time for one more. If you got time for one more, I enjoy this sharing this knowledge with everybody. Everybody can see what you're going through because I want to go through this with you step by step. I want to know everything. I want to know when you take your general knowledge test, what your score doing it, and your mother too. Tell your mother I said hello, how she doing. I want to keep up with this. Everybody can know what they need to do to get the Class B passenger and school bus endorsement so they can become a school bus driver and make 25 bucks, 30 bucks an hour. I got time for one more if you got time. Let's check out some facts here. Got my curriculum. Oh, you know what? I had a story I wanted to tell you, Rockman. The other day, general knowledge test. I'm ready. It's the training 101. Training individually or a group. Well, it all depends on the facility. I usually pick up a couple of people at a time. You got a lot of time. My phone is actually on the brink of dying right now, so I'm gonna try to tell you this story, answer some more questions, and maybe I can get back later if you want to do that. That's fine. Maybe next weekend. That's fine too. But I want to tell you this story. I was driving down the street. It was some high winds. I don't know if you know what this is, but you're gonna learn. This is the student crossing there. I was driving down the street. It was some high winds, and the wires, like 50-mile-an-hour winds. The wires was all over like that, right? So I'm doing like 10, 15. I'm coming down. I'm coming up to one of my stops. So 300 feet before my school bus stop, I turn on my amber warning light. I approach my stop slowly and cautiously. I'm pulling far right and close to the curb as I can while I'm checking for traffic I see the wires going like this crazy, Rock man. You wouldn't even believe this. So I'm driving down the street. The wire, a telephone wire, cable wire, or something came and snatched my mirror clean off the front of my bus. Threw it up in the air. It's tumbling down the top of the hood, the top of the bus. The bus is like 43 feet. So we hear boom, 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 boom. The kids on the bus, what's going on? What's that? All these high winds, boom, 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 all these waves. And then my mirror comes rolling down the side and falls right into one of the trash cans on the side of the curb. It was so funny and crazy. You had to see it. It was just boom. I've never seen that. Let me show you because the mirror sits up here in the front of the bus here, and the wire just came and just ripped it off. The mechanic, he didn't even believe me when I told him the story. But you had to be there to see it. Hi Kirby, thanks for joining us. Yes, I can charge my phone, bro. I will charge my phone and I will come back. If that's what you want to do, I'll come back because I got plenty of facts. If something comes up, I'll let you know. But yes, I will be charging my phone. I will be back and let you guys know what are we doing here with the Class B passenger and school bus endorsements. How do we get these passenger and school bus and this Class B? And what do we need to do? My man Rockman, my number one fan, I appreciate you. That was my story time with the mirror. It was crazy. Anybody have any questions? I got a quick second. Yeah, it was crazy. I got a lot of stories, but that's just the one for the day. I know you got questions. Go ahead, give me one more. Give me one more, then I'm gonna go charge up. I can read another fact. Make it a good one. I'm gonna read another fact. Fact number 117. Tire air pressure in tire increases with temperature. You gotta remember that. The hotter the tire, the more the pressure increases. When you get finished passing all the tests and officially get your CDL, where they offer more training for ongoing through the route. Yes, they call that a dry run. When they give you a route, you will be able to do a dry run, and that will be your additional training on that route. Now, if you need additional training on top of some more skills and turning and stuff like that, just talk to your trainer. No trainer's going to tell you no for additional training. Nobody's going to deny you extra help to operate a school bus vehicle full of children. It is our job to make sure you feel safe to operate these things safe. That's 15 tons. 29,800 pounds is the GVWR of the vehicle. That's about 15 tons. So we're not going to deny you any training. Nobody's going to deny you any training, any additional training in that sort. I'm glad I was able to answer your questions, Rockman, my number one fan. I'm gonna charge up. I'm gonna hit you in the comments below, and I'll let you know if we can do another show. But right now, I got to go, bro. Peace. Thanks for joining me.